Isn't Lois just gorgeous? She's just divine. I just love her. She's just divine. I love her. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got a lot out of that. I feel like it's so important for the light weavers, as I call you, to really access their spirit, their physicality, as well as their spirituality. I don't think there is a difference. It's all just one energy at different frequencies, different vibrations. But so many light workers, light weavers, don't. It's interesting. I was just about to say to Lois, we were chatting afterwards, that there is this health movement, especially here in Australia. It's probably the same in other countries, where people are really into their physicality. They're into their yoga and their juices and their diets, and which diets that they're all arguing about what to eat and what not to eat, and their exercises and their Pilates and their Qigong and all this sort of stuff. And they're not really into kind of connecting to the angels or their spirit guides. I know a lot of people who do sacred ritual, but there's like a point where it becomes too woo-woo. Like they don't go there. So they're into health and sacredness, but not into talking to Palladians or stuff like that. And I think we need to sort of embrace all of it, just embrace all of it, embrace the health and physical aspects of ourselves, as well as the woo-woo. Own your woo-woo. Celebrate your woo-woo and celebrate your physicality. That's what my guide said to me when I had the session with Lois. Celebrate your physicality. Don't be ashamed of your physicality. Don't be ashamed of your sexuality. I have in Australia, in Sydney, there's a lot of people who do tantra workshops and talk about contacting that sexual energy and utilizing it as a healing tool, not just to have pleasure with another person or pleasure with yourself, but utilizing that sexual energy, which has been equated with physical energy. It's actually not. It just moves the physical form. Sexual energy moves the physical form. But engaging in that sexual energy and not being ashamed of it and using it to nurture your physical form. Sexual energy, I think that we were talking on the weekend when I was away with the girls. One person was saying that a woman that runs Tantra workshops here, she was saying that Jesus Christ was a Tantra teacher and that he was talking about that, moving that sexual energy within yourself to contact spirit. Something I hadn't heard before, thought that was interesting. And again, throughout history, I don't know, religion and the church, all churches, not just Christian churches, but look at the Muslim church and the Hindu churches and the Buddhist churches, they've all made sexual energy a sin. And maybe it is a sin if you look at that goddess, the sinner, the creative goddess of the moon goddess, maybe it is a sin. It's just not a bad word. It's a beautiful word. But the Buddhist monks, they didn't engage in sex, and the Catholic Church, their priests didn't engage in sex. I think with the Buddhist monks, many of them were taught how to move sexual energy through their body so that if they didn't engage in physical sex, that sexual energy could still nurture their physical form. But the Catholic monks who were told not to have sex were not shown how to utilize that sexual energy that's going to build in them if they don't, have sex, and how to bring it up through your chakras and up through the top of your head so that it can nourish your physical body. And that's when a lot of distortion happened in the Catholic Church. A lot of distortion, a lot of rapes, a lot of a lot of terrible things. Look, I don't have to talk about it. It's all over the internet. There's been movies made about it. There's an amazing movie made about a guy that says that he was raped by a Catholic church, and these investigators look into it, these journalists, and they find just hundreds of people that's happened to, just in this small town that they're in, this small city. Yeah. So if it's, we can't not celebrate our physicality. We're physical sexual beings. We're here to celebrate it. And if you're not going to engage in sex, make sure you move that sexual energy through your body so that your physicality is nurtured. Lois speaks about that too in her work. But go and check her out. She's amazing. Have a session with her. She's wonderful. What I noticed is she doesn't put you into hypnosis. I thought, I'm someone who can contact things, who can see things really easily. And I was thinking, for people that aren't as aware like that as me, I wonder, without doing hypnosis, if that's possible. But she was saying something on the show today that being in hypnosis gets rid of the inner critic, and you want the inner critic present. It was really interesting. But she doesn't do a hypnotic process. She just asks you to remember. She said to me, well, it's all very well looking at the distortion that you're carrying from your lineage, like your mother and your grandmother. But where did Karen, little Karen, like what was the first memory you have of feeling shamed? And this memory instantly popped up, just instantly popped up. And I wanted to sort of dismiss it and say, no, no, no. And my guide said to me, you're thinking of it for a reason, because it's directly answering her question. So run with it, run with the thought. I always say to my clients, the first thought you get, before your inner critic dismisses it, run with that thought. Like let's follow the trail of that thought. And that's exactly what we did. I thought, I have this memory let's have a look at this memory. Let's go there. And you always know that you've hit the mark when you blubber. Like as soon as I hit an energy that was still active in my vibration, I'm in floods of tears. So sometimes you can have memory and you can think about stuff and it doesn't activate your emotion. You're not happy, you're not sad, it's just a memory. Just like I can remember this and I can remember that and I can remember this. But if you hit a memory and now you're blubbering, now you're crying, then that energy, that blubbering, that emotion that you're feeling that's active in you now is showing you that energy you're still carrying is still active in your vibration. And that you need to address it. You need to look at it and turn it around, or give back the shame, as Lois says, give back the unworthiness, the I'm not good enough story that we've all engaged in, the I'm not enough story. That's the shame story that she talks about. Give it back and let that being, that person at whatever age it was that decided that you were going to take on that shame, because we're holding the shame of our lineage, but we still have to activate it inside our own field. Do you see what I mean? Like we can hold the shame of my grandmother and mother, but it has to be an active component for me to heal it. So the light workers come in to really dense families, as I said with Lois, and take on all that trauma and stuff. And then it becomes a part of their story and their trauma, because we're the ones that are going to do the healing. Like my grandmother was never going to do healing, nor was my mother. My mother died at 50, very ill, very, very ill, carrying loads and loads of shame and resentment and hate, like just loads of it. It killed her at 50. She wasn't going to go to a spiritual healer and do a healer, an energy healer, or meditate or do any of that. She wasn't going to do that. It wasn't in her, it wasn't in her consciousness. But the healers are. And so as we heal our own pain, we do so for our lineage. We give it back for them, and we heal our lineage, both past, present, and future. And that's how we transform this world. That's how we, what did Lois say? She was talking about the devil and all that sort of stuff. I kind of tune out when people start talking about the devil. It's a bit religious, but I get what she's talking about, the distortion. We're just giving it back so that we can move into a new experience here on planet Earth and evolve into another way of living and being here on planet Earth, more connected to who we are as God, as spirit, as source, that love light energy that we are, that brilliance, that enormous energy. When we're living inside our limitation, we can't hope to touch that energy. So we have to let go of some of the limitation. And then we start to see who we really are, that brightness, that light. That's why I put so many NDEers on the show. It's not that you have to die to contact that light. Just like Lois was saying, you can bring heaven to earth, but you have to understand that it's actually there. And so the NDEers talk about that feeling that they have when they're on the other side, and that light and that love they experience. Most of them, pretty much 99% of them, talk about this all-encompassing, all-pervasive love and comfort that they feel. And this is who we can be here on earth. We can feel loved and comforted and joyous and ecstatic and excited and sexual in this physical reality. We don't have to die to experience bliss. Bliss is available here and now. Bliss is available here and now. So I hope this helps you find your bliss and helps you celebrate your physicality and who you are on earth. Talk to your inner child and reach out to Lois if you need any help, or me. I do the same work. I do it slightly differently to Lois because we kind of go in other places, but her work is so important. Thanks again for watching and listening, and I hope you enjoyed the first show for 2021 on Accentuate the Positive Radio. Remember to like and subscribe to shows and share the shows with your friends. So interesting. My biggest bug was like, why isn't my channel growing like everybody else's channel? And when I realized I didn't want to be seen as a little girl, I thought, if I hold this energy of not wanting to be seen, of course my show wasn't going to grow. It's not like I want to be seen, but I want this work to be seen. I want people to hear this. I want people to take it on and run with it. And then we transform this world to a place of love and light. Love you all. Big love. Speak soon. Bye for now.